Ride through the city like Brennan Schaub. I'm on a mission to get it all. Ride through the city like Brennan Schaub. If you ain't thick, please don't get involved.
And now, Brandon Thick Boy Schaub.
What up, fam? Sorry, just putting a little Black Buffalo in to kick the morning off. What is poppin', fam? What a freaking weekend. Man, when stuff like this happens, it makes my job fun. When you get these upsets, it is a fun gig. This fight world we got here. Tell you right now, dude. How about Drake? Dummy, right? Didn't call it, dumbass. Yeah, I didn't call it, dude. That guy's just taking L's left and right, man. He's just getting tore up online. I mean, that's definitely not a fake person that's making these bets for him because he knows UFC so well, dude. Can you believe this? We got this one wrong, dude.
$500K, dude.
I know. He's definitely using his real money. That definitely happened to his bank account. But this guy, man, can you imagine he didn't call freaking Strickland dominating Izzy? What a dumbass. Stay out of our lane, dude. I even heard he said minus 2,000 one time. It's like, dude, get out of our sport, dummy. Who got it right though? Who got this one right? There's a few. Don't get me wrong. There's a few, but the people that got it right. They're just when everyone goes this way, they go that way, hoping they're right, and then they're like, "See, I told you." It's like, yeah, no, you got 1 out of 2,000, dude. Way to go, man. You know. Insane. This is why it's the greatest sport on earth, because a guy like Sean Strickland can upset and dominate a guy like Izzy Adesanya. It is absolutely insane. I think what you're going to see going around in the world that we live in this fight space from other people that do shows like this is you got to be careful saying that Izzy had an off night. Izzy this, Izzy didn't show up, Izzy overlooked him, Izzy's too active, he was tired. Are those things true? Maybe. Yeah, maybe there's some weight to that. But what that does when you do that, you make these excuses that Strickland didn't beat the best Izzy. Again, Izzy had to take the fight or short notice, all this stuff. You know, the UFC didn't want this fight. What you're doing is you're discrediting Sean Strickland, who put on, I don't know, top 5 best championship performances we've ever seen. Maybe, it might be crazy to say, maybe the best we've ever seen. Because anybody in this space, as far as MMA, quote-unquote, experts, whether it's DC, Joe Rogan, Bisping, Luke Thomas, I'm sure the MMA Fighting Boys, Ariel's team. I don't know anybody in this space that I follow or that I listen to called Strickland winning. So that's what makes this such a massive upset. It's almost hard to comprehend. If you would have told me Monday morning Sean Strickland is the middleweight champion of the world, I'd say, oh, would he catch him? Did he submit him? No. He didn't get scratched. He didn't get touched. And he legit dominated for 5 rounds. But he won 1, right? Some people gave him the second. I didn't even give him the second. It's up for – that one's debatable, I guess. You could have said Sean Strickland could have been more active in that, and that's why you give it to Izzy. But I would probably lean towards Sean. So it's a 5-0 shutout for Sean Strickland. I'd be homeless. If you said you can put your house on the line for Izzy beating Sean Strickland and you'll get whatever your house is worth, we'll give you that back. I'd be homeless right now. That's how confident I was Izzy was going to beat him. You know, things happen, man. And I think, and, you know, I'll take full accountability here. I think a lot of us overlooked how good Sean Strickland is. I think we underestimated his will to not only win and beat a guy like Izzy, but definitely isn't scared in any facet of a guy like Izzy. But also Sean Strickland, and Rogan mentioned this on the Fight Companion, most of us knew this, but he also, at that level in the UFC, they did all this testing on who gets hit the less. who gets hit the least. Sorry, who gets hit the least and who gets hit the most. And in training camp, and Sean Strickland was by far number one. So my initial, when I heard that, and I said this on the broadcast with Rogan, I said, well, who's he sparring? Because if you're telling me it's like a Seinfeld Kramer situation where he's just beating up 10-year-olds, I'm like, that doesn't count. Who's the next guy in line, and who's he training with? But even if you would have told me Izzy's the least hit guy in training camp, Justin Gaethje's the least hit guy, Max Holloway, it's not a knock on Sean Strickland. My just follow-up question is, well, who are they competing against? Turns out Sean Strickland's competing against some pretty tough people, and that's not something to overlook. The guy doesn't get hit, and that is just it's remarkable. It is insane, and I think, especially lately, and even before, Sean Strickland has become a fan favorite amongst the MMA community, and even outside of that, but really the MMA community. Maybe not the general audience who sees his crazy outtakes. Maybe they see one crazy thing that he said and they judge him off that. But I think the reason why Sean Strickland's having the success, even when he went into enemy territory, even though Izzy's not from Australia, people forget that, but even though he went into quote-unquote enemy territory and fought Izzy in Australia, where Izzy's won, numerous times and is the most famous person walking around Australia, even amongst the kangaroos. He's more famous than all of them. But for Sean Strickland, he was getting cheers there as well.
Huge pop. Yeah.
He gets a huge pop, and I there's a reason for this. So he gets a huge pop over there. I thought Izzy made some miscalculations on wearing the China-colored shorts, some of the stuff he said. I think it rubs people the wrong way. We'll get to Izzy and what I think happened with him going to this, but I didn't want to start this show going, what happened to Izzy? What's wrong with Izzy? That's unfair to Sean Strickland and the amazing, flawless championship performance that he had. That's not fair to do. I'm sure you're going to get that at a bunch of other shows you're going to watch right now. But what I want to focus on initially is how freaking special of a performance Sean Strickland had. And back to why Sean Strickland's becoming such a big fan favorite, and I don't even think the UFC could have predicted this, which they should, especially with their, the captain of the ship over there with Dana White, because he's similar to Sean Strickland in this, is we're living in a world where AI is coming into everything, where people, especially 2 years ago, it's getting a little less now, but still out there, the cancel culture is, starting to infiltrate in all sports, right? And being authentic is going to be the biggest thing that people have to realize, whether it's stand-up comedy, podcasting, if you're in the NFL, you're in the NBA, you're in the UFC, even if it's going to upset people, if you're authentic, you're going to win a ton of people over. Now, I'm not saying I agree with everything Sean Strickland says. What I agree with is he's being his true self. It's not a gimmick. It's not something that he wrote down the night before, thought of. It's not this horrible WWE promo that we got when Conor McGregor was being authentic. And everyone, that's how you do it. That's how you get fame and money and followers. And they see these weird kind of cheap promos that that we knew the guys thought about or wrote the night before. With Sean Strickland, the reason people are gravitating towards Sean Strickland is we live in a fake world. We live in a world where people are scared to say their true feelings or true thoughts, whether you agree with it or not. Again, I don't agree with everything he says. But what I agree with is if you feel that way, speak your mind, son. Do your thing, man. Now, I don't want you to hurt anybody. I don't want you to be anti-Semitic or homophobic. No, I'm not down with that stuff. I don't think you should lose your livelihood. But with Sean Strickland, one of the reasons why everybody that sees this guy, especially the performance that he had, and you go back and you watch the clips of this insane stuff that he says, you realize, okay, maybe I don't agree with it, but at least it's authentic in this fake-ass world. And with AI coming in, that currency, man, of being authentic to who you are is going to go such a long way. Again, whether you agree with it or not, people go, that's him. You don't look at it and go, oh, this is a Colby Covington situation, or this is, insert name who's faking it. No. No, that's Sean Strickland, man. Whether you like it or not, he is, to quote the old school UFC motto, he's as real as it gets. And I think the UFC is going to do a good job, kind of feeding that, and hopefully they realize that this is an angle and it's refreshing, and that the public, is going to gravitate towards this, and you have a massive star in your hands. But you got to let him do Sean Strickland. You got to let him Strickland. You can't put on the blinders and say, I don't think Dana's going to do this. I'm just saying maybe the rest of the UFC marketing team, Sean, you're champ now. Let's tone it down a little bit. We don't need that. You got to realize he's going to say some outlandish stuff. He's going to say some outlandish stuff, and you got to let it vibe with it. Now, the issue they're going to have with Sean Strickland becoming a massive star in the face of the middleweight division is they're owned by Disney. And they have these big, companies working with them, and, you're dealing with corporate, and you're dealing with, all sorts of bull crap left and right in the current climate that we're in. Even then, you gotta, the juice is worth the squeeze. You gotta let Sean Strickland be authentic. You do. You just do. And I think that's why Sean Strickland is a fan favorite for so many. Sean Strickland also represents a lot of people that don't get a lot of attention. He represents, he's clearly a kid who grew up poor and white, and there's not a lot of voices for that. And for him to work his tail off and become the freaking middleweight champion of the UFC, more people can relate to that than they can LeBron James. LeBron James is 6'9", 260 pounds, probably runs a 4.4 in the 40, jumps through the freaking building. It's tough to relate to that. It's tough to relate to Patrick Mahomes. It's tough to relate to an Otani. You can relate to Sean Strickland, though. And if UFC's smart, they're in their marketing meeting today go, okay, complete opposite of what we're used to. This is a wild boy here. But in the current time we're in, it's authentic, it's refreshing. There's a good way to use this to our advantage. And they can. Because the UFC, they're kind of uncancelable. You look at some of the things that have happened in the UFC, which I'm proud of. Again, I don't condone it. What I condone is they're not losing their livelihood for saying certain things. You got to give them some bit of a leash, especially, just at this UFC 290, 293 in Australia, on the undercard, or even on the main card, guys got on them, they dropped the F word.
Twice.
Yeah. And I'm not talking about the main F word.
No, the homophobic slur.
Yeah, the homophobic slur there. Now, do I agree with it? No. As people said it before in this room, of course. But I'm just saying, it's like, times have changed, and we got to give those guys a leash. Meaning you got to give them some leeway because they just won the biggest fight of their lives. They're emotional. They probably don't have all their wits about them. They're a little concussed probably. Their emotions are running high, and they just get on there. Now, should they lose their jobs? No. That's what's great about the UFC. You're in the NFL, they gave Patrick Mahomes the mic after throwing, even though they lost this weekend. Let's say they gave Deshaun Watson, who beat Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals looked awful. But let's say they gave the mic to Deshaun Watson after winning that game against the Cincinnati Bengals. He gets on there and dropped the F word. Oh, he's so screwed. So screwed. Probably benched at least a game, maybe half the season. Probably owes a few, $1 million in fines. For the UFC, they're more, they're like, yeah, things happen, man. I don't think those guys are homophobic. Yeah, they shouldn't have said that. They messed up. So I think for Sean Strickland, there's in this world of fakeness that we live in, and Instagram, and you look at someone's social media and you think that really is their lives, and it's 15 seconds of their day, and oh my God. And AI's coming in, all this fake stuff and these fake clips, and you'll see YouTube titles that say, Sean Strickland admits to, taking a fall against Izzy, or whatever the hell people are coming up with these days to get clicks, and click on it, just some trash video. That's what we've been consuming for so many years now. For Sean Strickland to come along and go, love me or hate me, man, this is me. All right, dude, I dig it. Again, don't agree with everything he says. Everything he tweets, some of his stances on stuff, especially women, but at least it's him, man. You know? Now, are you going to get these big marquee sponsors like Izzy and John Jones did? Probably not. You know? They're just, you know, those brands probably aren't going to jump on board. All good. But I think a lot more people relate to Sean Strickland than they do a lot of other professional athletes. And that's why he's getting so big. And you got to run with it.
And there's something about when you hear him in interviews, you can tell, like, deep inside he's like a good dude. You can kind of tell.
Yeah, everyone says that.
Yeah.
Everyone knows him really well, says, yeah, you know, he's that guy, but he's also deep down like a good person.
Seems like
has a good
dude.
heart, yeah. A lot of stuff is when he was young, you know, he just came up rough, dude. You know his story is rough. I think we just put back up the food truck with Sean Strickland, Thick Boy right now. You watch that. I knew he grew up rough, but this dude grew up rough, you know? So he's a product of his environment. Again, don't agree with everything he says, but it's refreshing that he's not selling out when so many people would, especially when they become champion, when they're getting there, you know, and the UFC was worried about this. I also think one of the things that makes Sean Strickland such a fan favorite too, especially right now, you know, he's popping, especially after beating Izzy. But one of the things that makes him a fan favorite too is the way he got the title. He was not supposed to get this. They were doing it. It was going to be Yuri versus Alex Pereira. They tried that, couldn't get it together in time enough. It was going to be John Jones versus Sergey. That didn't happen. They were doing everything they could. Because Duplessis couldn't fight. They're like, what are we going to do? Even though it's sold out, we need a big name. And Izzy was like, I'll do it. The UFC's like, dude, we don't want Sean Strickland to be champ. He goes, this is an easy night. Don't worry about it. I'll take care of him. Whew. Boy was Izzy wrong, you know?
Everyone, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think, you know, this underdog story, this crazy underdog story from a kid, I think he's from Covina. Is that right, Chin? I think he's from Covina. You had his Wikipedia up right there.
I just typed it in. There's nothing about Covina.
It says fighting out of Anaheim. Oh, he's from Anaheim.
Close enough.
Strickland grew up in Corona.
Oh, so you're thinking Corona then, yeah. San Bernardino. No, Corona, yeah.
Corona, yeah. Oh, Tatiana Suarez is from Covina.
That's what you were saying.
Yeah. I know it started with a C. Corona. Either way, you know, the kid grew up, poor white family, and for him to be the middleweight champion of the world is insane. Insane. So how do you get it done, right? How do you get it done? Was it a matter of Izzy having an off night? Maybe something to that, and we'll get to that. But you can't discredit Sean Strickland for fighting Izzy the way he did at the distance he did. And I think one of the issues that Izzy had where other guys, you know, Izzy is a counter fighter. So when people get going, oh, Izzy's on his back foot, Izzy's backing up, it's like, have you ever watched an Izzy fight before? It's very rare he's coming forward. He waits for you to make a mistake and then capitalize on it, like the Alex Pereira fight, the other fights that he's had before. That's what he does. You get the Kelvin Gastelum fight where it's toe-to-toe, but he took a lot of damage in that, so he changed his, approach to the game. But outside that, he's usually pretty calm, calculating. He is on his back foot. So that didn't surprise me, and Sean Strickland's the pressure fighter, so that's the way that dance was going to go. Sean Strickland's going to lead that dance. What surprised me, and which I think surprised Izzy's camp, what they overlooked, is Sean Strickland, a pressure volume fighter, was at the perfect distance where the leg kicks of Izzy wasn't a factor in any facet. So you took away that major tool from Izzy. The kicks were not landing when they did. He was checking them. Really, it was even, and I meant to say it on the Fight Critic because Rogan kept saying, oh, it hurts you more when you're throwing a kick and the guy checks it. Sean Strickland, he did check a few, but he was just letting it go with it. He was letting it go with. It was the way you roll the punch. He was rolling with the leg kick with his leg, because I don't think he has a quad, for God's sakes. So that's the other thing. That has one quad, and is the middleweight champion of the world. But so the way he was able to make Izzy's leg kicks just kind of a non-factor, we've never seen. Insane. So that's one thing Izzy had to deal with. The second thing Izzy had to deal with is like an Alex Pereira, like a Paulo Costa, like a Marvin Vettori, Robert Whittaker, especially when he got knocked out. Those guys would be the aggressor, and they were punching first. They were trying to knock Izzy out first. Izzy would counter and knock them out. So he got away with that for a long time, would set up traps with feints because he's a counter puncher, he's a counter striker. So he would feint to get you to throw a big shot. He could tell where that shot was coming from. Then he'd capitalize on it, knock you out, or land a big shot and score points and eventually get you out of there. What Sean Strickland did that was brilliant was while Sean Strickland was the aggressor, he was also a lot of times the counter puncher. Meaning he would go and he'd wait for Izzy to do something, and then he would capitalize. Not even Izzy throwing a big shot or throwing a jab, but he would capitalize on all that. And Izzy couldn't get his awkward timing down. Because you got to think, out of all the training partners Izzy has, he doesn't have anybody like Sean Strickland. You know, that awkward style, that weird Philly shell with no leg kicks. And I think what else Sean Strickland did well is... I think kids who are wanting to fight, or even if you're in the UFC, especially if you're in the division, meat and potatoes wins. The meat and potatoes wins. The guy who throws a jab and a right hand 10,000 times, I'm more scared of the guy who's throwing a million things 1,000 times. So I think Sean Strickland went off a jab and a straight right, and great footwork and distance control and just a pace that would melt most men. And he's a guy where Izzy was in trouble early on. And that first round when he wobbled him, you know, that gave Sean Strickland confidence, knows he belongs, which is a terrible thing for Izzy, which most guys don't feel that way. Alex Pierre felt that way. And then obviously Jan, which he lost to. Other than that, most guys when they get in there with Izzy don't feel like they can get it done. There's been a few who do, and I think for Sean Strickland having success in that first round was a big issue for Izzy. And also Izzy's like, oh man, I'm gonna fight here. And he never got it going after that. Maybe it's because he's concussed, who knows? But Sean Strickland had a flawless victory. Again, I scored it 5-0. You want to say 4-1? Not gonna argue with you, but you sure as hell can't say 3-2. 4-1, cool. 5-0, the way me and Rogan, Callan, and Sam Tripoli scored it. But just an insane performance from Sean Strickland. Absolutely insane. So what's next? What's next for both gentlemen? Dana in the press conference came out and said immediate rematch. I disagree with that. I don't think that's smart. I think one of the reasons Izzy, and we don't know. Here's the thing. Izzy hasn't come out. He skipped the press conference. He let his coach Eugene speak for him, which I would have liked some answers from Izzy. I know he doesn't want to make excuses and take anything away from Sean Strickland, so kudos to him. But I would have liked some sort of insight on what exactly was going on. You know, I would like to hear from him. If it's just Sean Strickland's a tough fighter, man. I looked off. Now, and this is the other thing you got to remember. When people go, Izzy looked off. Okay, well, he's fought very difficult guys before. You know, he's had slow starts before. Did he look off because of the awkward style of Sean Strickland? There's something to that. Again, you can't just say Izzy had a bad night and Strickland had a great night. You just can't. So going back to the rematch, I can argue it both ways. I don't like the rematch for this reason, because one of the things I think happened with Izzy, and we're going to find out more, I'm sure, in the next coming days here once Izzy speaks. But I think one of the issues is how active Izzy is as a champ. He's the most active champ I've ever seen. It's insane. What is this, his 11th title fight? So you got to realize he's been champ since 2019, and he's fought 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 times since 2019. All championship fights. So being that active, while it's good and you're making money and you're winning the majority of your fights, and you are staying active, and it's good to be active. You don't want these long layoffs, but it's just damn near impossible to do, to fight at the level he's at. Can you do it, when you're, a guy who's ranked, 7 to 15? Maybe. If you're outside the top 15, it'd be tough. But when you're the number one guy in town, when you're the number one guy in the world, and you're fighting the very, very best, it's very tough to be that active and win every fight. It's the training camps, heavy lies the crown. the training camps, cutting weight, the emotions, the mental space. And then also the other thing Izzy has going for him, which is one of the reasons Izzy's so famous, also one of the biggest names not named Conor McGregor in the UFC, maybe the biggest not named Conor McGregor, is he engages with the trolls. He reads the comments. He gives that energy. So I just think, again, heavy lies the crown. When you're champ and you're required to sell the pay-per-view, that's one of your, jobs is to sell pay-per-views for the UFC. You're doing 100 freaking interviews that fight week. It's exhausting, so I think it's a lot of weight to carry to be that active. And I think it finally caught up with him. I also think, I allude to this on the fight campaign too, I think we were live by the time, but I said one of the ways Sean Strickland can win, and really the only way I thought he could win, and I was wrong, so was Drake, but I think one of the only ways Sean Strickland can win is he overlooks him. And Rogan goes, no chance. He would never do that. And I don't think he purposely meant to do it. I think he thought, looking at Sean Strickland's previous fights and seeing how he did against Jared Cannonier and seeing how he did against Alex Pierre, especially Alex, he thought, I'm going to mop the floor with this dude, man. I think it's, again, he didn't go in the fight going, this can be easy. I think he went, I'm so much better than this guy. I think he had a great training camp. I still think he trained at a championship level. I just think subconsciously he thought it was going to be an easy night in the office. And again, being so active, there was no reason for Izzy to take this fight. If this fight's not in Australia, Izzy's not fighting Sean Strickland. Sean Strickland's going to have to fight at least once or twice before he even gets to a title shot. You don't beat Magomedov and Imamov and get a title shot coming off 2 losses. That's not happening. It's just not. So Izzy's the one that made this happen. The UFC was trying anything they could do to not make Izzy versus Strickland happen for this exact reason. And Izzy sold Dana in the UFC going, I'm going to mop the floor with this guy. And boy, was the UFC off, and boy, was Izzy off. Strickland was like, sign me up. Sign me up, man. So, I again, back to Izzy, one of the reasons I don't want to see the rematch is because this isn't a Matt Serra GSP situation where it's this, Hail Mary knocks him out in the first round. And you're like, oh, God, GSP, what are you doing, man? Let's go here. What are you doing? Then they rematch and he beats the brakes off of him. That's not – this was a full 5-round fight for 25 minutes. And the guy got hit 22 times in the face. That's insane. That's a complete domination across the board. When it's dominant like this, it's tough to ask for a rematch. And the other con that Izzy has working against him is he's also lost 3 out of his last 7. He's lost 2 out of his last 3. So that's where, again, huge Izzy fan here. But looking at this black and white, I don't want to upset the Izzy people and Izzy, but looking at this black and white, you go, okay, the guy's lost 2 out of his last 3, And then, again, this wasn't one of those fluke situations where it's a first round, first 30 seconds, Strickland goes wild, catches him. And you're like, run that back, dude. You caught the champ. You lucky shot. There's no lucky shot here. There's nothing lucky about this. This was a complete dismantling for 25 minutes. So it's for me, those are tough. It's like the Julian Pena, Amanda Nunes situation. The first fight, right? You're like, what is going on with Amanda here? Right? You're like, what the hell is this? They rematch, complete domination. You're all right, it's 1-1. I'm good. If someone dominates you for whether it's a 3-round fight, 5-round fight, I'm all set, man. That was not a mistake. That wasn't just, he had an off night, he had a good night. When you're dominated, for 25 minutes, if you're dominated for 10 minutes, okay, and then you get together the last 15, all good. But when it's just a complete shutout, I don't like the rematches. It would have been better if Izzy got knocked out in the first second of that fight in order to get the rematch. That being said, I also think Izzy needs a break. I think he's way too active at the fight at the level he's fighting at. I think he puts too much emphasis on social media. I think he's too worried about what people say. I think he needs to step back, recuperate, let the division do its thing, get some more contenders in there because you've beat everybody. Get some more contenders in there. Let Sean Strickland get his shine. Let's say Sean Strickland builds himself up even more, whoever they decide to throw him next, and then jump back in. Slow down. All good. Still one of the best to ever do it. And you got to be careful not to be a prisoner of the moment. I see a lot of people out there going, told you Izzy's not that good. Told you Izzy's not one of the greats. Are you out of your freaking mind? Despite, maybe you don't like the guy paints his fingernails. Maybe you don't like the guy wore the China flag colors on his shorts. Maybe you don't like the way he does certain things. Maybe you watched a fight and it was boring, whatever. To say Izzy's not one of the greatest middleweights of all time, you're just dumb. You're just dumb. Look at his resume, son. Marvin Vettori, Brad Tavares, Derek Brunson, Anderson Silva, Kelvin Gastelum might be the greatest middleweight fight of all time. Robert Whittaker, Yoel Romero, Paulo Costa, then goes up to light heavyweight and fights Jan Blachowicz. Lost, but still, tough task. At least he did it. Again, Marvin Vettori again, hard as beat a guy twice. Robert Whittaker again. Jared Cannonier, who's a savage. Loses Alex Pereira. Oh my God, he was 0-3 against Alex. Comes back, one of the greatest knockouts of all time against Alex Pereira, who's twice the size of him. Then he lost to Sean Strickland. So you're telling me the guy who lost to take out Jan, that's 205. Let's take that out. The only people to ever beat Izzy is Alex Pereira, the world-class striker, might be the best striker, the hardest hitter, pound for pound we've ever seen in the UFC. He lost to him once and redeemed himself. And then he lost to Sean Strickland on a short notice fight. You're going to discredit that? You're a prisoner of the moment. You're just wrong. You're just wrong. I think he's better than Anderson Silva. I have him over Anderson Silva. Like, oh my God, remember Anderson tests hot, so don't argue with me. It's insane to take this away from Izzy. Again, when you guys got to be careful, because when you talk about how bad Izzy is, even though he's only lost 2 fights ever at middleweight, before this one to Alex Pereira, who had his number, who's 2-0 going into that fight against him. When you take away Izzy's body of work, one of the greatest resumes to ever happen in the UFC, one of the greatest performers, maybe the greatest striker we've ever seen in the UFC, when you take all that away and go, he's not that good, you're doing a disservice to Sean Strickland. Sean Strickland beat, in his prime, arguably the best middleweight of all time. You want those people, if you're a Sean Strickland fan, if you're an Alex Pereira fan, if you're a Robert Whittaker fan, you want Izzy to be one of the GOATs of the middleweight division. It makes the guy that you like look better. Your argument is stupid. It's Izzy, man. He's one of the most active champs we've ever seen at a high level. He's been the face of the UFC, especially since Connor's been, gone, basically. He's been the face of it. He's been carrying all that weight this entire time for a reason, a good reason. So when you knock down the guy that just lost and you're a prisoner of the moment, you're doing a disservice to the guy that beat him, and that's Sean Strickland. Sean Strickland just beat arguably the greatest middleweight in his prime of all time. It wasn't a fluke. Didn't catch him. Izzy wasn't sick. Izzy showed up. His coach said he had a great training camp. Sean Strickland beat that version. Some older Anderson Silva. Some older, an older Yoel Romero. No. He beat Izzy, who was ready to go in his prime. That's insane. So when you knock Izzy and become a prisoner of the moment, say he was never that good, you're actually discrediting Sean Strickland. It's insane. So what do? Again, here's my argument for not having an immediate rematch. Izzy needs a break. Let the division, the middleweight division's been slow, dude. It's been held up for a while. And why is that? Is it because Izzy's beat everybody? And most of the contenders he's beat twice? Why do you think they pushed Duplessis up so fast? Why do you think they pushed Alex Pereira up so fast? Because he beat everybody. He lapped these dudes. You think you're running at the same speed? He lapped you. So the UFC had to come up with some narrative to push Alex Pereira, who basically had the easiest run to the top shot of all time, and that's not his fault. Kudos to him, and he's so skilled. But the UFC had to do that because that's how freaking good Izzy was. He was lapping folks, beating them twice. Like, you can't do it a third time. Yeah, but Whitaker's won 3 in a row. I know, but Izzy dominated him. But Marvin Vettori's beat him twice. That's how good Izzy is. So, again, this division needed this. This is a good thing, guys. Even though I'm a huge Izzy fan, huge Sean Strickland fan, this is a good thing. This is a good thing for UFC business. It's a good thing for the middleweight division. That division's been, look at Chen has up right now the rankings. You look at lightweight, you look at welterweight, you have middleweight there, you have light heavyweight there. The rest of them are popping, daddy. You got Makhachev at 55. You got Leon Edwards fighting Colby Covington. Kamaru Usman's out now. Middleweights, it's just been this constant Izzy train. He's beaten all contenders, beaten some of them twice. To push on Alex Pereira, had to jump to light heavyweight just to mix things up. He's getting bored. At light heavyweight, it's fun. That belt's getting passed around like a, gotta be careful with my words here. You know what I'm saying, though. So this is a good thing. So, again, that's one of the reasons I don't want an immediate rematch. I think Izzy needs a break. I also think we need to focus and put some energy into Sean Strickland. He is that guy. He is that good. He is authentic in this fake world. Let's run with it. For Duplessis, you could do him next. I think one of the reasons they pushed him, again, fresh meat for Izzy. If Izzy wasn't a champ, if Strickland was champion a year ago, I don't think Duplessis is in this conversation. I think they, pushed him in the Robert Whitaker fight. He passed the test. Now he's number 1. You could do Sean Strickland, Duplessis. I heard Duplessis with the injury is not ready to go yet. Sean Strickland could fight tonight after dominating Izzy not getting hit. He could fight tonight. So your champ's ready to go. Here's my thinking. So we got to figure out the Duplessis. Where's he at with the injury? When is he ready to go? Duplessis, Sean Strickland to sell pay-per-views? I don't know. We'll see what Sean Strickland does. Izzy sits back, takes a little break, recoups, recalibrates, gets his shit together. The magnitude and the implications of Paulo Costa and Khamzat is everything. That fight's going down in October, right, Jen? October 21st or 23rd in Dubai.
Yep.
October 21st.
UFC 294.
Paulo Costa, Khamzat. Depending where Duplessis is at with his injury. And again, if Khamzat knows this, if the undefeated Khamzat, if he goes out there and mops the floor with Paulo Costa, I don't care if Duplessis is ready to go, he's getting your next title shot. Even if Duplessis goes, whoa, hold up, I'll be ready by November, I'm ready by December. The UFC's going to go, okay, let's see what Khamzat does. Khamzat's your next middleweight superstar. That's what they're waiting on. But he has to pass the tough test of Paulo Costa. The implications of Paulo Costa, Khamzat, just went up tenfold now that Izzy lost. Now Izzy lost, it goes up tenfold. And now if Khamzat, again, mops the floor with Paulo Costa, he's going to be the guy they push. He's going to be the next in line. He's the next face of the UFC. Now, if Paulo Costa beats Khamzat, he's not. I don't think they push him the same way. Not the same way they're waiting. Khamzat, they put a rocket fuel pack on, a while ago. Especially when we were during the lockdowns and all that stuff. They put that jet pack on him and he took off with it. And they had that layoff, but he's back, right? So, they tried to give him the Nate Diaz fight. They've been trying to have Khamzat be the superstar. So now Paulo Costa's here, and there you go. So I think the winner of Khamzat Paulo Costa will get the next shot if one of them has a great night. If it's a decision, a boring decision, you get a lot of wrestling, you get a boring, 3-round decision, Duplessis gets the shot. But the next guy up could easily be whoever shows up between Khamzat and Paulo Costa. That's your next one in line. If not, you got Duplessis there. Take my money for any of them. Duplessis, Strickland, that's a fun fight. That's first team all awkward, both of them. If it's Costa, Khamzat, take my money. Whichever one of them gets the job done on October 21st, take my money. Then you have Strickland cage side in Dubai at that fight. You have him and Khamzat face off. Dude, take my money. But for Izzy, just lay low. Recuperate, recover. You've done enough, dude. You've carried the UFC on your back for how long now? For 4 years. For 4 years, man, you got to be tired. You got to be sick of it. It's all good, man. You're doing the best to ever do it. Nothing to be embarrassed about. All good. But you guys don't be a prisoner of the moment. Don't go, Izzy's not that good. Because then you're saying Sean Strickland's not that good. And if you're a Sean Strickland fan, you want him to beat the best version of Izzy. But we're going to find out a lot more in the next coming few days here, I assume on Instagram or on his podcast. Izzy has a great podcast of what exactly was going through the mind of one of the greatest to ever do it and what went wrong for him. And no matter what he says, don't let that take away on how freaking special Sean Strickland is. Mm-hmm. Football's back, though, baby. Yeah. Football is back. Oh, my CU Buffs. What's up? Primetime Dion, baby. CSU, good luck this Saturday. What are we going to beat them by 100? Dude, we are popping, dude. The CU Buffs are popping. We're going to beat the brakes off of CSU. The real test comes the week after. It's at Oregon, one of the toughest places to play in the nation. They're going at Oregon. Then after that, the Trojans, USC, is coming to Boulder, Colorado. Dude, if we're ranked 18 right now. If we beat Oregon, we're going sizzler. Then you got USC versus undefeated CU coming off an Oregon win. We're probably ranked in the top 10. I think USC's top 4, top 5. What? I think you have Texas at 4, USC at 5. Then you have number 10, CU undefeated with primetime Deion Sanders, Travis Hunter, little Dion Jr. at quarterback. What? But you can bet on the Buffs with my friends at DraftKings. You had an epic week 1 in the NFL. My boy Aaron Rodgers playing tonight against the Buffalo Bills. I think he's a -2 dog. I will take that all day. I'll tell you where I'm betting with my boys at DraftKings, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. New customers can bet $5 on football and get $200 instantly in bonus bets. Nobody's missed out on the action this season. All DraftKings customers can take advantage of 2 new offers every game day this September. Monday Night Football kicks off tonight. Jets, Bills. Bills are -2 dogs. I'm taking the Jets. Get in on the NFL Week 2 action with DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the app right now. Use the code SCHAUB, SCHAUB show, to sign up. New customers can bet just $5 and take $200 instantly in bonus bets. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook with the code SCHAUB. The crown is yours, DraftKings. I have to read that now, don't I, Jin?
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, you want to be a podcaster, huh? That's what you guys get to see live. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.1-800-GAMBLER.net. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino Resort, Kansas, 21 and older, age varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. I think that's Canada. See sportsbook.draftkings.com/football terms for eligibility. Terms, responsible gaming resources. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Eligibility, deposit restrictions apply. DraftKings, go Buffs. Promo code SHOP. Jesus.
Yeah, one more.
You got one more?
One more.
Is it Happy Hippo?
Yep.
The best kratom on the planet. The only kratom I trust to put in this body. This freaking temple only takes Happy Hippo. This is my second Kratom energy shot of the day. This is the cherry pom pom. I think that stands for pomegranate, but it's this is my favorite here. They have the high concentrated Kratom shots from Happy Hippo. They got the K-Dips, the wintergreen. They got the Razzle Dazzle. They got gummies. They got powders. It's the only company that I trust to put in this body, man. I use it before all stand-up shows, before podcasting, before I work out. Happy Hippo is the one-stop shop for all your Kratom usage. Go to happyhippo.com. Promo code is THICC23. That's thick with 3 C's. You get 20% off for life off the K-Dips, the Kratom energy shots, my personal favorite, the highly concentrated shots, the gummies, the powders, however you want to get your Happy Hippo, we got you covered. Go to happyhippo.com. Promo code is THICC23 for 20% off for life, son. Let's get back to the program, Chin.
All right. Let's start off with this real quick. The other fight that we saw over the weekend in the green room was bare knuckle.
Yeah.
Well, let me get it.
You had Werdum versus JDS in bare knuckle MMA.
And shout out to the Fighting Kid Army for selling out all the shows in Covina.
Yeah.
When we're watching it.
That was a good time.
Yeah.
That was a great time. Me and Calvin haven't been together a hot second. I'm in Spokane September 21st to the 23rd. You don't have to bring it up, Chin. I got it. I remember. Skankfest September 29th and 30th. Then I'm in Iowa, Chicago, so get your tickets at thickboy.com. But yeah, we had the JDS Fabricio Werdum bare knuckle MMA fight going on in the green room, Covina. This is my argument with bare knuckle. So I know Rogan loves it, and him and Eddie used to argue with me how UFC should be bare knuckle. I've always disagreed with it. I just want you to look at how many decisions you get on these bare knuckle fights. You get a lot of decisions. Guys, it's just natural. You don't want to break your hands. It hurts to hit guys in the face with your hands. You break your hand very easily, and it opens up more cuts. So I don't know how many punches JDS landed, but it looked like 3,000 when you look at Verdum's face. It's because they don't have gloves on. It's just not the way it's supposed to go down. I enjoy it. I like watching it, but it's very rare you get a guy like Mike Perry. I was about to call him Michael Perry. It's Michael. I'm going to call him Michael. I like it, Michael. It's a very rare you get a guy like Michael Perry who just throws caution in the wind and is not worried about breaking his hands, and that's why he's so successful. Guys like JDS, Werdum, these other guys, they're being a little more tentative, a little more calculated with their shots because they don't want to break their hands, hurt their hands. So you get this kind of weird product. I enjoy it, and I think the more it's around, the more guys train in bare knuckle, it's going to get better. Mm-hmm. But right now, when you watch it, you can tell they're reserved. That's I think it's fair to say they're a little more reserved because they don't want to break their hands, and that's why the UFC is a better product.
Yeah, still developing. I remember we were watching it. It was like something's kind of missing.
How many decisions did we watch? We watched 1, 2, 3. So 4 out of the 5 fights on the main card were decisions. A lot of them go to decisions like this. Again, these guys are tentative. They don't want to break the freak. It hurts. It hurts, man. Straight up. It takes a very special sociopath like Mike Perry to go, I don't care. Then you got a guy like Luke Rocco's like, did I just break my freaking teeth? Forget this.
Lost his tooth.
Look at Verdum's face.
I know. They kept talking about how his eyelid's about to fall off.
Yeah, it didn't look good.
Cut up.
Verdum looked every bit of 46, by the way.
And Dos Santos looked freaking amazing. His body's incredible.
Yeah. Rightfully so. He's on all the
supplements. He says it's supplements.
Yeah. Whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
I don't think the supplements you're getting at GNC.
No. Yeah. I think Dos Santos even kind of popped a long time ago in the UFC, but something weird. But whatever.
Don't be a hater, Chip.
I'm not, dude. I look up to him.
Yeah, whatever.
His physique. All right, so I don't think you talked about it on the show yet because the news came out.
Oh, our girl
afterwards.
Laura Sanko crushed it.
She killed it. Yeah.
And a lot of casuals didn't like. Who is this woman on the broadcast? Really? Oh, she's a beast. Yeah, they didn't know.
Conor gave her a shout out too.
Conor McGregor said Sanko's incredible. Spins the chin, but nothing doing. Love it. Incredibly refreshing addition. Hats off to the whole UFC crew. Stellar this evening is bravo. Only getting better. What a machine. Yeah, she crushed it.
Yeah.
And they're going to give her more opportunities, too. She knows her stuff, man. Easy on the eyes. Brilliant mind. Unicorn.
And fought, too, so that counts for a lot.
Yep.
This is kind of silly, but okay. So Conor McGregor tweeted at Alex Volkanovski.
Ooh, that's a bad idea.
So this first one here on the bottom, you see this?
Ask my bullocks, that little sausage. Volkanovski is no way pound for pound #1. Silly. That's quick work from you. 100% actually work. Readable, hittable, hurtable. I like he has this title, though. We should fight at some stage so that featherweight goats will have all faced off and let there be no debate. And Alex said, let's do it at UFC 300.
Yeah.
Do we really think Conor's going to cut to 45 in any reality?
Hell no.
He just does it to, be the talk of the town.
Exactly.
That'd be an awful fight for him.
And then this is the last one from Conor. Someone asked him about
Conor McGregor teases move to 85. This one I'm talking in a world full of fakeness and headlines. This is why Sean Strickland's so massive. You're not going to see Sean Strickland say that stuff. He's not going to be like, I'll fight Conor. He's not doing any of this bull crap.
Yeah. So Conor put this pic out of his gigantic back.
Jacked.
Yeah. All right.
And Rogan told us on Companion he just got in USADA. Dana and USADA is making him do the 6 months.
Oh, well, that's legit then.
He
That's
hasn't.
good.
Yeah, they're making him do the 6 months.
Good.
So you're not getting that Michael Chandler fight for a hot second.
That's the thing that sucks, but yeah. Okay. This was also announced in the green room. Alan Belcher facing Roy Nelson for game bred bare knuckle.
Again, Roy Nelson's going to have success at bare knuckle. He's a guy. He has that, no F's given here.
Yeah.
F around and find out with Roy Nelson. Trust me, I've F'd around and found out.
Many people have.
And you put no gloves on that giant dude? Good luck. Good luck.
Yeah. And Belcher's enormous now, too, with, like, jacked
Yeah,
muscle.
I'll watch that fight. Belcher's a beast.
So this was interesting. I'm not sure exactly. I'm sure you probably know more than anyone here, but Tyson Fury, I guess when he was doing a press conference with Francis Ngannou, he kind of said that you're getting paid $10 million. So he's saying you're getting paid $10 million for this boxing match, which we thought was more, right?
Tyson said that to Francis?
He said it in this. I'll play this for you, but then we don't have to show the video case, but I'll just play the audio for you.
You got me and Francis Ngannou here, the UFC, former UFC. Everyone said he was an idiot for walking away from the UFC. And now all of a sudden he's a genius, isn't he? Guy's about to make $10 million. Come on! Egg in their face. Francis is going to make that bag rich.
Pause it. $10 million guaranteed. That's not including pay-per-view.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because how would Tyson know what the pay-per-view is? I guarantee you Francis gets part of the pay-per-view and gate.
So close.
Maybe not gate, but definitely pay-per-view. So he's going to make a significant amount more than just 10.
All right.
Yeah.
Good.
But that on contract, that's what he's set to make no matter what. If say nobody buys pay-per-view, he gets 10 mil. Now, 1 million people buy the pay-per-view, he's making probably 20, 25 mil. If not more.
All righty. This was also an interesting thing I saw on, I guess Rampage teamed up with that Brian Jackson that makes chains and stuff. So he has his podcast on there.
Nice.
And then Tito Ortiz was on the podcast, and he said that the UFC and Dana White actually stole his idea. Like, he created the UFC gloves, and they stole his idea and never paid him anything for it.
Huh.
Yeah.
So I did, during podcast appearance on the Jackson podcast, Ortiz claimed that he played a pivotal role in designing the UFC gloves. I made those mother effers. I gave Dana a prototype. He said he's going to make it through
Wana? Do you remember those gloves?
Wana gloves, yeah. They used to fight in those. And gloves, Wana gloves and gloves and gloves. Why did you say gloves 3 times?
I don't know if the person that printed this
Or did
wrote it
Tito
wrong,
like have a
maybe said
spasm?
that,
Was
yeah.
like gloves, gloves, gloves. And then all of a sudden I got cut out of the deal. So what I did was cut the thumb out. I cut the knuckles part arm because they had the knuckles padded. I cut. So it's just the top, and I go, this is how you should make the next gloves. He goes, you sure? I got to. Is this just a bad translation?
It might be,
Or is
dude.
this his actual way
I want to
he
play the
speaks?
audio, but hold on.
They got the wrap, the record tight. I cut of that deal. They made their own crap. Instead of padding the mother effing gear. All right, I don't know. Get that out of here.
That was more
Yeah, get
entertaining
it out of
just-
here. You trying to ruin this podcast, Chin? God, people don't think I talk like that. I have my own issues.
we have it
speaking.
on. Okay,
God,
so
dog.
this has been making the rounds even more recently, and I looked at how many views and likes. This is crazy. It's over 2.5 million views. It's Brian wrestling Bradley here in our studio.
I mean, we
And
posted that a year ago.
I know, it's just making the
God,
rounds right
get
now.
with it, people.
So this is from Philosophy Fighting. It says, any debate.
Yeah, I know the clip. You don't have to play the clip. I was filming it.
I know. I'm just saying that this particular clip is going viral again, or it's just going viral now.
Yeah, it's Brian Bradley Martin grappling.
Yeah.
And then Brian sweeps him.
Yeah, Brian did very well there. This I thought was very weird. So UFC and Dana White, I guess they filed a lawsuit against the Pillow Fight Championship because of the way the letters and the colors are.
Huh.
Yeah. Oops.
Hey,
My
do you have
bad.
any more useless headlines after the biggest upset of all time?
That
do you
was
have
the
any more
biggest story.
crap I can talk about?
That's the biggest story.
Hey, can you bring up Tito T's reading Shakespeare, Chin?
if there was a clip,
Hey, check it out. Pillow fighting's getting sued by Dana White. Dana White has nothing to do with this.
You don't think that's interesting?
No.
No, I didn't think
The
it
pillow
was.
fight?
Yeah.
No.
To sue a pillow fighting championship.
Nah, man.
All right.
You got anything real? Remember I was talking about being authentic?
There's not much going on. The Strickland thing was the hugest news. All right. So
Then I'm out of here, dude.
Hold on. So UFC 5, the game, they actually have a few people, Fedor's in it now.
Tyson.
Muhammad Ali. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, the trailer's actually pretty cool, but I don't want to play it, obviously.
Is he on the cover?
He was in the game. I'm not sure if he's on the cover. Oh, yeah, there he is.
That's always a curse.
That's what they said. He was double
Madden
cursed.
curse.
Double cursed by Drake and from the game.
Yeah, the Drake stuff, it's fun to
But he wins and loses.
It's fun to make fun of, but he's not picking those fights, guys. Figure it out.
And then you
He
did.
doesn't know crap about the
You
UFC.
explain how like it's just the marketing
that
thing.
stake,
Yeah,
they
yeah,
gave him, I don't know, all the money. Like, hey, just post this and we'll pay you to post. I don't match people at much lower level than Drake get paid to post stuff like that. How much do you think they're paying Drake? You don't think he has a ownership or a massive payout or massive commission when he posts that stuff? They're like, yeah, bet on Izzy. He's like, okay, who's he fighting? Don't worry about him. Okay. He doesn't know. I doubt he's even posting that. Somebody else is doing it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
And they're like, Drake curse. He's probably like, hey, man, can you guys pick some right? Like, it's UFC, it's tough. That's why I partnered with freaking Fancy Guru. We're bringing on real experts. We're going to start, before big pay-per-views, I reached out to Fancy Guru. I was like, hey, you guys, they have a great track record. Mm-hmm. I was like, hey, can you guys give me your pick so I can stop doing this? I don't be known as the Drake curse here. Let's get some experts in here. So I partnered up with Fancy Guru for that reason alone. You guys do this. You guys take all the hate.
All right. Here are a couple of bout announcements. Joaquin Buckley versus Alex Morono.
That's a fun one.
Yeah. That's a UFC fight night. And then we also have Grant Dawson versus Bobby Green. They're going to headline October 7th.
That's
fight
fun,
night.
too.
Yeah.
All right.
And then you already knew this. You said this the entire time, but Dana White's finally saying, like, yeah, he'll never say never about the Elon Musk versus Zuckerberg.
I
but
told you
like,
from the
it's
jump.
probably not happening.
People at high levels were texting me like, dude, I think you're off on this. Man. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. This one I thought was really jacked up. So Cyril gone.
Yeah, that happened last week when we were here. I thought we talked about it already.
Did we?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't remember.
Is that it, bud?
That's pretty much it.
All right. That's it. You got UFC Fight Night. This is a fun one because it's the Mexico card, right?
Yeah, Noche.
Alexa Grasso, Shevchenko 2. Man, it'd be interesting if Grasso can get it done again. Rooting for all the Mexicans. You got Grasso. She's the last Mexican left. Kevin Holland, JDM. That's a fun one. The freaking, was he 12 years old? Raul Rosa
21?
Jr. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like 14 fighting. Tracy Cortez, one of my faves. She's getting it done too. Prelims. Hey, you can put Tracy on the prelims.
I know, dude.
Prelims. It's a good card though. I'll definitely watch it. You know, my girl's gonna be having I'm gonna have to rock the freaking weird Mexican hat and pinatas and shit everywhere. It's a fun card though.
Yep. And that's pretty much it, dude.
All right, kids. I will see you in Spokane September 21st, 23rd. Those shows are almost sold out. Get your tickets right now. Skankfest, pretty sure, sold out September 29th. We're doing a live Friday with the Kid with the Skankfest crew Friday night, I think at 8 p.m. And then me and Brian will be doing stand-up all over that comedy festival, Skankfest in Vegas. Then I'm in Dubuque, Iowa. Dubuque, Iowa, Friday and Saturday. October 13th and 14th, one show Friday, one show Saturday. We'll add shows if we have to, but right now you have one show Friday, one show Saturday at 7. Niagara Falls is a casino, then you get the links up for the tickets there. But that's Niagara Falls, New York, a big casino out there. That's Friday and Saturday, November 4th and 5th. Then I'm in Chicago, downtown Chicago, real Chicago, all right? And that is December 8th and 9th. 2 shows Friday, 2 shows Saturday. But Spokane, you're up September 21st, 23rd.
We should actually do that. I forgot the fan questions. You cool with that?
Oh, we have some fan questions? Yeah.
So George just sent these in earlier. So from Mike D, gun to your head, Bo Nickel versus Strickland. Who would you bet the house on?
Bo Nickel.
All right. Josu Angeles.
But to be fair, I'm betting Bo Nickel against everybody. It's not no hate on Sean Strickland. I'm just that high on Bo Nickel. I haven't seen anything yet. Granted, he's not fighting anybody, but I haven't seen anything yet that shows otherwise, that he's not the next great white hype.
All right, so Jose Angelos, I kind of know what you're going to say here, but so who deserves a rematch more, Izzy or Aljo?
Izzy. There's an argument for both, but probably Izzy.
Okay.
It's tough because he's got beat 25 minutes. Aljo got clipped in the second. Both reigning champs, but there's a long queue at 35. It's tough. It's tough to give either of them a rematch. We just got to keep the division moving on both of them.
Alrighty. That's good enough for now.
Is that good?
Yeah.
All right, kids. Love you. Thanks for tuning in. This is the, third one live?
I believe so.
That's the third.
I think so, yeah.
This is the third. All right, kids. If you haven't yet, the Fight Companion with Joe Rogan, that's available on Spotify. Joe Rogan Spotify. For UFC 293, we have, I was actually speechless when Sean Strickland pitched a shutout. So go watch that. It's available right now on Mr. Joe Rogan Spotify. Other than that, Spokane, September 21st to the 23rd. Like, subscribe, do all the stuff the kids tell you to do. Love you guys. Be safe out there. Congrats to Mr. Sean Strickland. Insane. All right, kids. See you next time.